What's up, investors? We're in the midst of a national pandemic and 1 in 3 tenants nationally can't pay their rent. This is how we're dealing with it. Where is my snare? There's no snare in my headphones. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Chuck Kohout coming to you live here with Always Be Closing, powering the Creative Real Estate Club. Do me a favor, just do it for your own damn good. Smash that subscribe button, hit the little bell. You'll know every time we drop a new video. You won't miss out on any of this information. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about tenants not paying their rent during COVID-19 and how we're dealing with it. So, it's no secret. We're in a national pandemic and most people can't pay their rents. It's actually not most people, but 1/3 of America this month, April 2020, has not paid their rent. That is insane. Statistically speaking, on the national average, 1 in 5 tenants can't pay their rent. We've got that down to 1 in 3. That is off the chart. There's 3 parties that are affected by this. The first one is going to be the tenants. Again, we don't think most tenants want to screw over their landlord. They don't want to get evicted, even though all evictions have been halted now for at least the next 90 days. And we don't think that they want to get kicked out when it's over. The second party that's being affected, number 2, is going to be the landlords. They're actually stuck in the middle of this. If the tenants don't pay the landlords cannot pay their mortgages. Tenants many times are not aware of the fact that bills continue even though they can't pay. They're like subhuman little children. And what they don't seem to realize is that if they don't pay their rent, the landlord still has to pay their property taxes, still has to pay their mortgage, still has to pay their PSE&G bill, still has to pay the water bill and every other expense related with that property. And lastly, the investors, the people who have lent the money, be it banks or private individuals, to the landlords who purchased the property, are also going to shit their pants really quick because they're not going to be getting payments through this little food chain of landlord, tenant, investor. I've gotten most of these numbers off of the National Multifamily Association, and honestly, just from looking at my notes here, I think that these numbers have been tragically friggin' skewed because most people's rent is due on the 5th, and in April, again, if we look at the calendar, Sunday is the 5th. So many people have a direct deposit that comes out of their account on the 5th. That actually does not happen because banking is shut down even online on Sunday. So those payments will not hit the landlord's account till Monday. The numbers that I have given you do not account for that in particular. Furthermore, they don't account for people making partial payments, which we know we've worked out many different agreements with our tenants already. Now, what we're doing, even though there is a halt on evictions and the courts are closed, is we are filing these evictions anyway, and as a landlord, let me suggest you do the same thing, because what's going to happen is, and I've actually walked into the Bergen County Courthouse, even though it's closed, the clerk is still there filing paperwork. All these eviction letters sit in a stack, and when the time comes and the courthouse opens back up, they're going to turn that stack over and they're going to start from the bottom. So you want to get in that stack as close to the bottom as you can. Please file your evictions immediately. The next thing that we're doing is we're not only working out a payment plan with our tenants, but we're also working out proactively a settlement agreement. If you don't know what that is, if you file an eviction and actually go to court, the judge does not want to hear that eviction. They do not want to try that case in particular. What they want you to do is they want you and the tenant to go out into the hallway and work out some sort of settlement agreement, which is actually almost like a second lease. It's a payment plan with a little bit more money. It's a couple extra bucks a month, whatever you agree to, and then that's entered into the record in a court of law. It's like a secondary lease. You broke your first written agreement, you piece of tenant. Here's the second one. Now you have to honor this one. If they break that one, and it's been entered into the record on a court of law, there is no eviction. You simply call the sheriff's office. They will give you a constable or a sheriff within a 2-week period, and when you have that time frame, you meet them at the house, knock on the door. You'll be there with an armed sheriff or a police officer, possibly a constable. They'll knock on the door and they'll go, 20 minutes, get all your stuff. Even if they have the money right then and there, you still have to kick them out, change the locks, and if you want to let them back in, it's up to you at that point. How much money can they come up with? You can then draw up a new lease and you're back at the eviction process from stage one. If you don't get all of it or as much as possible, you're stupid, but sometimes it's okay to keep tenants that are not the greatest, because getting 75% of your rent is better than getting 100% of nothing and having a vacant, trashed apartment. So, I'm going to leave you with this closing thought. Those of you guys out there who are landlords and investors, brace for impact. Be proactive with your evictions. Even though the court system is closed, file them anyway. Start working out your settlement agreements right now. And if you thought April was bad, get ready for May and June. It's only going to get worse. More people are losing their jobs. Money is going to become incredibly scarce. And if you've gone outside your house at all in the past month, you've realized this looks something like post-World War II Europe. We've even got lines at the grocery store. It's like a bread line. My name's Chuck Kohout. Always be closing. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Bye for now.